This is a job that's been a long time coming, because a couple of months ago when this car went for its MOT, it didn't even make it as far as the test because the rust in the sills was so terrific that as soon as they stuck it on the ramp for a pre-test, you could see it didn't have a cat's chance in hell of passing. So the plan was save up a few pounds, take it back to the garage, get them to do it professionally because they know what they're doing. But we're not doing anything like that anymore. We're on lockdown, so the rules have changed, and I'm going to spend the day stripping the interior out of this thing, because that was the big problem. The reason this is going to be an expensive task is because where it passes through the sill, it's right by the wiring loom, which means I've got to take all the seats and the carpet out, move the wiring loom aside before I can start cutting and welding. So interior out, then work out how I'm going to jack it up, because the jacking points on both sides are rotten. So we'll figure that out in a minute as well. First of all, a message from our sponsors, then let's get working. Before we begin today's video about the Alfa, I just want to take a quick moment to say thank you to Extra Wallets for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you're about to take your life in your hands and brave the shops, you need two things. You need a fast car at the ready, you need your quick action wallet so you can get in and out of that store in a hurry. However, disaster has struck. My red wallet does not match my blue car. That's just, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to the shops. But don't worry, Extra have your back with the Parliament wallet available in Italian leather, in tan, bronze and black to suit any vehicle you choose to go to the shops in. Regardless which colour you choose, you get the same cool features. You get the RFID shielded centre section so you won't be caught by skimming or card fraud. Quick release cards so you can get your Nectar card out in a hurry, quickly swipe your points and run. 2 more card slots in the front, and of course the card tracker so you can find your wallet anywhere in the world or around the house. Check the link in the description below, and there's 30% off site-wide right now. Now let's get back to finding out why the car won't take us to the shops today.
This does feel a bit like I'm going back to the Volvo again, because I'm stripping more interiors out.
Which takes up 10 times as much space as it does when it's fitted inside the car, and then having to try and work out how to put it all back again later on when I've forgotten how it goes together. Right, so far I've got this one big trim piece out of the way. I'll disconnect the battery in a minute once I've opened the boot, so I can let these airbags not explode at me. What else can I need to do? Oh, yeah, I need to work out how to get this B-post plastic out so I can get the seatbelt claspy thing off. And then I can take the seat out and finally, get this thing off as well. Remove this sill cover, get behind there, and then I can look at whatever horribleness is underneath.
Okay, to detach your airbag, first of all you need to pull out this little clip here, which means that you can then slide out this kind of drawer effect here, and then gain access to the airbag wiring here, which you can then undo and not have an airbag blow up in your face. Screw underneath the accelerator, otherwise the carpet won't lift up.
So now with the carpet pulled back, you can really see just how bad the corrosion is in here. Straight through to the floor. Oh dear me, you can see all the way down there to under these wire loom clips, and then we can get this all clear of the area you're going to work in, and then start grinding. Oh, I've got it all down here as well. That ain't good. Now, actually getting this thing into the air is going to be a challenge. What I'm going to try and do is get the big old jack underneath a hard point that looks like it's fairly solid, then very quickly get the ramps underneath the wheels, because I don't know there's anywhere solid enough to put an axle stand, so I'll rest the wheels on ramps once the car's in the air. It's unfortunately too low to actually drive onto ramps, even on standard factory suspension. It goes without saying, these are of course all completely rusted in place. There's about half a dozen screws, just Phillips head things. Well, this is going well. I haven't even reached the metalwork yet, and already I'm having to drill things out. Plug not turned on. Okay, now I can see what I'm really dealing with. A mess is the answer. So interestingly, the outside of the sill looks pretty solid still, apart from just here where the jacking point has gone completely. The rest of it doesn't look too bad, so get the grinder out and try and get some good metal under there.
Someone put filler in the floor. I don't believe it. That is a worse bodge than I would consider. Well, as there's an awful lot of filler coming out of the floor, time for some actual proper PPE. What a mess. I don't really want to be getting the grinder in here and making a huge mess in the interior, so I'm taking this sound deadening stuff off by hand with a screwdriver, because that will catch fire if I don't.
So I thought I've got one tiny hole, or not even a hole, just a kind of a rough edge I need to just do the grind back and plate over, I'll have a quick look at. And I didn't even bother turning the camera on because I thought it'd be such a tiny thing I might not even have to plate it. I could just, you know, rust proof it and under seal over it. But no, I found a bunch more filler, and this one goes through into the bottom corner of the footwell for the rear passenger, and I've had to lift the carpet even further, peel back more of the loom and grind all this stuff back. Haha, good fun, good times. So yeah, now I've got 2 more small holes to plate, so I've got a total of 5 holes down the driver's side and lots of filler. Right, so I think I've cut out all the holes now. So I've got bare metal, I've ground back to good sort of solid clean metal, so I've got nice working surface to weld to. I've even taken out all that filler, which is really annoying me having found that. That's actually quite grinding my gears, as they say, because this was supposed to be in a car that was welded and good before I bought it, so not very happy about that. Now before I go on and do any welding, I'm going to get some anti-rust primer. This is, well, zinc primer on this one, or anti-rust primer grey, which is the same stuff depending where you buy it from. So all the back side of any bit of metal I put on there is going to stay rust proofed, and I can not do this again in 6 months' time. I expect you've seen me do this many times before. A bit of cardboard, marker pen, hold the cardboard one side of the hole, draw the shape of the hole through the hole with the marker pen. Then you know what shape of metal, whoops, you need to be cutting out to graft into the hole. So it actually looks like this area here is a double plated area, so it runs underneath here, so where I cut this off here on that hole there, it actually carries on further to make a big strong area.
Something else I did was draw this extra kind of centimetre along the bottom. This black line will be folded over to 90 degrees to go into the well, the seam of the car, basically. When I get a workshop eventually, I'm going to get a metal bending thingy. That'll make my life better.
So as you can probably hear from the bird song and see from the fact that the light has completely changed and it's now early evening, I've been shaping these 5 weird, oddly angled bits of metal for a few hours. And the thing is, it's all like painting a wall, painting a car. It's all about preparation. If you get it the right shape in the first place, it'll go on an awful lot easier and be much faster and less hassle to glue onto the bottom of the car than if you try and make it up as you go along once you're under there wondering why it's not flat and you thought it was flat. So these, although they look fairly simple, I've got lots of weird little contours and curves and twists in them just to make them marry up to the weird shape of the floor. So yeah, hopefully this will be the fast bit now. I can just quickly get this on and then go indoors because it's getting a bit chilly and I want my dinner. A couple of weeks ago when everyone else was panic buying loo roll, I was panic buying welding wire because I knew I'd run out and I had this job waiting for me. This would be quick and easy if the end of my welder hadn't just decided to disintegrate. The end of it is kind of broken apart, melted, shattered, I don't know what you want to call that, but basically it's screwed and I can't use it. I've got like two little kind of sparks, and that was that, and then the end fell out. I can't see it anymore. It's on the floor somewhere down here. So I have got a problem. Car with no floor. I can't move because it's on jacks. I need to jack. And lots of holes I can't plate because my welder's broken. I've got a couple of new welding tips in the cupboard, but the problem is that they won't screw in. The thread they screw into is kind of dissolved, and now the spring that's behind it keeps welding itself to the wire and then coming out with it and pulling this with it. So the whole lot just decides to remove itself from the welding torch. I wonder if I can screw it in at all, clamp it in even. Didn't need this, I've still got the other side to do. And I've done precisely 2 tack welds holding that bit on the floor in the front corner now. That does not feel good. Well, that's clamped in about as tight as I can physically do it. I'm not holding out a lot of hope for this, to be honest. If I can get enough tack welds in there just to hold it in place, I'll be happy. Ow. Oh, what is it? I'm done. Oh. No, it's welded itself again. And that's welded itself inside the tip. Okay, so here's the situation. The welder is dead. I don't know if I can get a new one. I don't know if I can get a spare part for it. So this bit you're watching right now is one of 2 things, because I don't quite know where this is going to go in the morning. Either this is I hope, building some tension like they do on TV shows because it's a disaster and maybe we can solve it, maybe we can't. And in 2 seconds time, you'll jump to me in the morning with a new welder. Probably not. More likely, this is the end of this video right now because I can't get a new welder and this isn't repairable. So you'll have seen me learning how to take an Alfa Romeo apart, cutting up bits of metal, shaping them and then doing nothing with them. But either way, the car's got to come off the jacks right now, which I really would prefer not to do right now. But unfortunately, because there's nowhere to park the blue Mini, it's got to come back into this spot. So yeah, one way or another, it's coming off the jacks, and it's not getting welded until tomorrow at the very earliest. That is the original 2010 battery that came with this car, I think, judging by the Mercedes-Benz markings on it. And this weekend, GSF have got a 60% off sale for the weekend, as they seem to most weekends. And so I went on there to order a new battery, because every time I try to move this, it is stone dead, and it's even gone beyond the jump pack now. So I do kind of need one. So this morning, I opened this up to measure it, got the dimensions, the model number, that kind of stuff. Put the order in, £120 with the 60% off, so a good deal, but still not inconsiderable. And that will be arriving in a couple of days' time. Anyway, a little later on, I opened up the garage to go and start working on the Alfa. And what did I literally, and I mean literally, just trip over? Hello, the same kind of battery. I'm just going to quickly whack this in, and if it works, I'm going to cancel the order because that's £120 saved. And I mean literally tripped over it. Fitted. 10mm, 10mm. Put the hydrogen vent pipe back in there, 13mm down the side. Job's a good one. Let's check it fires up. Lock, unlock. There we go. In neutral, clutch down, foot on the brake. Bada bing! I need to go and cancel the order. I've just saved 120 quid by being clumsy. See, being a klutz does have its advantages every now and then. Yay! Well, it's Sunday now. That was Wednesday, I think, the bit you saw last time, and I've now got a shiny new end on the welder. This took about 3 or 4 days. It was Saturday afternoon when this finally turned up. Actually really easy to fix. 4 screws and a grub screw and you're away. New swan neck, new tip, new loveliness. Rain stopped play for a ridiculously silly reason. Now I can get underneath here and carry on. Hopefully by lunchtime it'll be fixed. Maybe. Wish me luck. So after about an hour of faffing around, and I didn't really do a very good job of that one, it's actually welded quite well from the inside of the car, just not that well from the outside where you can see it. I'm now moving on to the second one, which looks like it'll fit a bit better, to be honest. Now I've got 3 out of 5 done, moving on to the little tiny patch holes up here in the back corner. And although it looks pretty scruffy on the outside, I've been kind of doing it from the inside as well. So it's a pretty strong repair, to be fair, even though it looks a bit not pretty. And now the grinder makes me look like a good welder. Now foolishly, I actually thought I was pretty much done here. I just sprayed zinc over both sides of the metal again, and when that's dried off I'll put the seam sealer and some under seal over everything. But I was just wire brushing with the grinder just to make sure all the grot and dirt and stuff was out of here, and I just found this little missing patch of metal from the sill, and I guess it's the jacking point as well. So I've found some more work for myself to be doing. Aren't I lucky? I have this very heavy duty section of L-shaped steel I bought to do the floor of the Volvo in, and that's going to be about the right size, sorting that bit of sill just there. Well, this is heavy metal now, so everything's set to max on the welder. Well, that's the driver's side nearly done. It's all welded up completely. I'm inside the car because the wind's really strong and buffeting the microphone. It's completely welded up. It's ground. I've seen where I've missed bits because I've ground it and can see more clearly. Re-welded, re-ground, zinc coated, and then seam sealed everything, so it looks like someone who knew what they were doing did the job in the first place. Now I just need to wait 2 hours so I can put some under seal all over that and make it look professional, sorted, tidy and rust proof. While I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to put the interior back in on the driver's side and then worry about the passenger side, which I won't do in this video because you've seen a lot of welding once already. I zinc coated the floor, and you can see I welded the inside as well to make it extra strong, but I didn't have any Alfa light metallic blue, so I had to go with the not quite Tahiti blue from the Rover. No one's ever going to see it, just underneath the floor, but at least it's got paint on and so therefore rust proof. So first of all, you need to put all the cables back in the little loom clips to make them all safe and secure so they don't go any place they shouldn't do. Don't forget to reconnect the airbag. Okay, so the seat goes back and there's a peg to locate it. And don't forget the washer, kind of half washer on the inboard side. Well, I'm now done for 2 reasons. First of all these screws which hold this on are rusty, so I need to get some more, and all the shops are shut, so I can't. And secondly, I can't remember which car I left the can of under seal in, so that'll have to wait until I figured that one out. But thanks for joining me on this ride. I'll come back and do the left-hand side, the passenger side, in a future video because I've had enough of welding today. I'm grotty and tired and I ate quite a lot. But thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed it, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you again next time fixing something else, probably the Volvo to be honest. Take care everyone.